Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is James Chen, and I'm joined along once again by Mr. Clean, Ultra Shaven, and Tubo wear.
Yeah, interesting route with the opening tonight. All right, I'll have you know that I'm not actually clean shaven. I shaved this morning, so there's already a bunch of stuff going on here.
Oh,
How
okay.
about
Oh,
you,
my
Silverware?
bad. My
I can
bad.
grow a beard. That's right. So can you, as I see. That's good. I'm glad that you can.
I'm coughing.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm dead.
All right. Well, great news. What a start to the show. We're opening with Game Busters. We're going to be
Listen,
talking
man, we
about.
need to get to something very important, David. We can talk about what we're going to talk about. Spider-Man trailer. Let's go.
Spider. Yeah, look, we're just gonna look. As you can see here, look. Some of us are hyped for Spider-Man, okay, and we can't
Literally
wait.
can't wait.
So it was gonna drop at the exact same time that our show was gonna start. And look, me and Tubo are kind of hyped for this. David is whatever, but okay.
So
What do you think? What do you think, Tubo? What do you think?
I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil things for people.
We don't care about David, dude. We don't care. Lou, I'm hype.
I can't. Something just got absolutely positively confirmed in that trailer that I can't talk about because I don't want to spoil it for people who don't like spoilers. But something just got confirmed, and I'm like on the verge of cheer. Like I'm very happy. I'm very happy from what I just saw. And if you know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. David, you probably have no idea. James, I'm assuming you don't either. But
Yeah, I might be missing because
that trailer just confirmed some leaks that came out months ago that were speculation but looked very real.
yeah, I've been
And,
trying my best
yeah.
to stay away from a lot of that stuff. So I
I
haven't.
can't help myself. Not
Yeah.
with this.
Oh man. Okay. Okay.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I want to say so many things, but again, I can't. I would ruin things for people, and that sucks. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I was fascinated by the end of it. Do you think that main character played by a famous actress, very popular character, is gonna die? What do you think? Is Peter Parker gonna let her go and she's dead?
Oh,
Hey,
no,
look,
definitely.
did you not see The Incredible Spider-Man Part 2? The Incredible Spider-Man 2, where very popular
Maybe.
actress playing major character did in fact die.
Yeah, that's
I don't
the
remember.
Amazing Spider-Man. Not incredible. That's amazing.
Yo, Amazing Spider-Man, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
that's why when I saw that scene, I was like, oh no, because like that's like the whole thing. Spider-Man trying to rescue loved one falling down, and that's how Gwen Stacy died in the comic. That's how she died in the second movie of the Andrew Garfield one. And so as soon as I saw that, I was like, yo, they're gonna bring this kind of thing back. So yeah.
Nah, she'll be
Your
fine.
cynicism is not appreciated here, David. I'm
She'll be
hyped.
fine.
I'm excited, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm just being a jerk. I'm looking forward to it too. It should be fun. I'm
I know too
know,
much, but it makes
yeah,
me so
yeah,
happy.
I don't know that I want to like speculate too much, but yeah, I mean honestly, I'm excited for it too. It's gonna be a good movie, I'm sure.
Oh man.
All right.
I mean,
All right,
that was a thing,
Spider-Man.
right? I mean, someone in the chat says it's weird that Doc Ock is all goody goody now, too. But I mean, he was never really a bad guy in Spider-Man 2, right? His brain
Oh,
got.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he
But his
was.
brain got kind of-
taken over by the AI of the arms.
Right, exactly. And without
But also,
that.
we saw that they imprisoned him.
Yeah, exactly. So. Man.
That's why I got hyped when he said, "You're not Peter Parker."
Right.
Because that means he remembers. He remembers his Peter Parker, right?
He knows who is Peter.
and he's pissed off at his Peter Parker.
Right.
Like the reason he was doing his stuff in two was because he wanted to, complete his project. But he wasn't trying to murder people. There's just people in his way.
Right.
So if he's not trying to murder this Peter Parker, then
Well, yeah,
like,
yes.
you're not the same human. I don't care. Whatever.
Right.
You're not the guy who screwed me.
Exactly.
So that it makes sense for him to chill and not, try to keep attacking.
Right,
Plus, that would be
right.
shocking, right? In your mind, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You have the Spider-Man wrapped up, and it's not him. You're gonna be like, oh, this is
Wait,
weird.
people are saying there's an echo on David and Tubo. That's interesting.
Oh, you probably your speakers, James.
Oh, you're right. I don't need to do it that way, actually. I just do it like this. I always forget about that. Okay, try again talking.
All right.
Video games.
Yeah, there you go. That's much better. Okay. My speakers are coming through my microphone. There you go. Okay.
Spider-Man No Way Home coming some year and month.
Coming December
I wasn't paying attention.
17th.
Okay.
Yeah, December 17th. I'm
December
hyped.
15th in the UK.
Look, I'm hyped. Again, I even enjoyed Eternals, okay? I know a lot of people out there did not like Eternals, but I really enjoyed that movie.
Hey, we watched Shang-Chi on Friday night. I gotta
Dude,
tell you.
that movie's...
I liked it.
So here's the interesting thing, though. You know, one of the complaints about Shang-Chi is that the movie is very, you got this formulaic thing of here's the origin story, here's the character coming through, conquers, blah, 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 action, awesome. And people are like, man, can't we get something else from a superhero movie? Eternals comes out, does something very different. It's a very thoughtful, philosophical movie. It's very drama-driven. The action is a secondary part of it. And everybody's like, man, where's my action movie? There's not enough cool stuff here. This is too different than what I expected. And I don't know what people want, man. I like it.
It's like almost certainly not the same people saying both complaints, right? It's probably just that a lot of people think one and a lot of people think the other. And just
well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. So, you know, talking with my brother about it, which is weird, is that you would think that all the big old critics out there would really like Eternals because of that. And the critics are actually not even enjoying the movie as much, which is really weird. That's the weirdest part.
I have no real input, but yeah, I
same. I'll see when it comes out on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, yeah.
It's just Spider-Man. I'll be there night one, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
Let's
moving on.
Spider-Man coming out whenever. Let's move on to the next ones. We have Happy Chaos. We're going to be talking about. As you can see, we're going to talk about Red Bull Kumite. We have a couple of 5-5 viewer matchup questions that we're going to get to. We'll talk about this other guy, Whip. Is there, etc., etc. We have several other topics to get to. We actually don't have a guest tonight. Things didn't quite end up working out. We explored several avenues, and things just didn't end up working out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times...
We'll get back on that in the future. It's just the occasional happenstance.
People that we want to get on the show, you know, can't make it at the last second, etc., etc. Those things happen.
Or the person who does all the scheduling wasn't clear with their supposed guest tonight and screwed it all up.
Yeah, definitely could be. Could be. So as a result, no Stay Puft
But
Marshmallow
next week we have a
Sorry.
great guest, and the week after, there's two great guests lined up.
We do.
So you're welcome.
All right. Let's talk about Happy Chaos, of course, who was officially revealed as the next character that will be coming to Guilty Gear Strive this weekend. We'll talk about where that was revealed, Red Bull Kumite, in the next segment.
Of course, yeah.
Happy Chaos himself, there's a trailer.
Do you want to watch the trailer here on stream? Why not? Since we just watched the Spider-Man trailer, we can also watch this trailer too.
The week of trailers.
Sure, let's do this. Let's actually just watch this as well here.
Oh man, the music's gonna play. I'm gonna crack up
when I say this, but I'm really hoping you guys win because
this song slaps.
I'd like to see you again.
It took me 10 years to find the answer to something. I forgot.
Oh my god.
In 2 seconds. That's about it.
I don't care about winning.
He's a gunslinging broken messiah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, for sure.
Can you deal with the times?
This world is wrong.
It definitely seems like he's got like some God, which character? I know Adachi has that walkies, but I mean, there's an Injustice character that does that, or is it? Am I thinking of?
Aaron Black does that.
Oh, Aaron Black. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Is Aaron Black doing that?
That's what Hero said.
I don't remember.
That's so cool.
Humans have the freedom of choice.
So I mean, it's just like so cool. But I mean, like for all the people who obviously have watched the story mode,
Yeah.
he's a major character. I'm assuming, right?
He's literally the savior of humanity.
So you're saying he's big deal.
Yeah.
So you have seen the story mode then, too?
No, I just have too many friends that are nerds that talk about this stuff when I don't even ask. They just let me know.
Happy Chaos is actually that man? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I did not realize that. Oh,
Happy Chaos
interesting.
is that man.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Anyways, that character looks dope as
Anyway,
shit.
there he is.
I'm very excited to play him. I have not seen a character in this game that I was like, all right, I want to play that playstyle. Besides May, whatever he does, I want to play that playstyle. He just looks too fucking cool. Like I'm really into him. I know he's like edgy, and that's terrible, but
Is he?
I don't care. I think he's like real edgy. Yeah.
You like that? You like that kind of thing, huh?
I guess I do, man. I guess I'm an edgelord. I don't know.
So are your favorite turtle is Raphael then?
Yes, he actually is.
It actually is.
My favorite Dragon Ball character is Vegeta and Piccolo.
You are that. You're the Wolverine fan, basically, right?
No, I mean Deadpool. If you wanna.
Right, but I mean, like when you watched the Fox X-Men cartoon, you were more pro Wolverine than pro Cyclops, for example.
Yeah, who cheers for Cyclops?
Nobody
What a
likes
nerd.
Cyclops.
Dude, I love
Nobody likes
Cyclops,
no.
dude. Come on, it's
I
all
can
about
understand
Cyclops.
liking Leonardo, but liking Cyclops is a mistake. No one actually
No,
likes
dude,
Both
dude.
stupid.
Cyclops is
Scott
right.
Summers
dude.
is a wiener.
Cyclops was always right, dude. Come on.
I don't think that Happy Chaos looks like an edgelord. I gotta be honest with you. I don't think he bears much like looks similarities to those
He looks
characters.
edgy to me, man. And,
Also,
and like
his-
the fact that he's like.
What about his song
would
sounds
your
to you
heart.
like it's edgelord? Did
No,
you hear the
that's
song?
why it's edgy. It's just so weird. It's like a 1940s cafe jam.
Why
Yeah.
are people calling it weird? It's classic jazz style music, dude. There's nothing wrong
Yeah, dude,
with
that's weird now. That's like 100-year-old music now, homie.
It's so bad. Oh
It's
my god.
it's very old. It's old music now.
I'm not opposed to jazz generally, to be very clear, but that boy, really don't like it at all. And as for the
I
character,
actually like it. I don't dislike it, but I definitely recognize that it's weird.
I hope
It's
that none of my
it's
friends.
certainly weird.
Boy,
I'm
anyway.
gonna turn that into our
Unfortunate.
theme song. That is 100% gonna be our theme song for the show
Yeah.
from now on, dude. Just so.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm in. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's a stupidity about it that I could eventually probably find hilarious and therefore endearing. I could see myself going that route, to be honest. But as far as how the character looks, it's not for me. As far as how the character looks like he plays, I'm not into it in the slightest.
You keep your filthy hands off my Happy Chaos, anyways. All right.
I'm glad,
You don't
I'm glad
deserve
you're
it.
happy. I'm glad you're because you
You
said
don't
even
deserve
before they
him.
showed what the character played like, you were saying that you were looking forward to playing him like regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, like we had some ideas maybe like there would be a gun involved or whatever, but
Yeah.
you were already about it. So I'm happy that you are excited. That is very good.
Yeah. I was excited to play Gold Lewis too, and then he came out. And like, well, I shouldn't even say it came out. The move list was shown.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah, I'm not that interested.
Dude,
but
he's a
Happy
character-
Chaos,
yeah.
I will put work in. That character is that cool.
I mean,
I'll go out of my way to play them.
But see here, speaking about that though, what I think is really important to kind of bring up though is even what we see in this trailer right here. A lot of people have been putting speculations. They've been noticing green versus orange reticules, putting out Happy Chaos clones, and not sure what those do, etc., etc. And we may think we know what's going on. But we remember what happened with Gold Lewis. He came out and we were like, look at this Gatling gun. This must be super important in his game, the alien. And then it turned out, then his video came out and in this Behemoth Typhoon, and it was just
Yeah.
like, what is happening? And so I feel like this character could still come out and just all of a sudden just shock us on what he has the potential to do. And honestly, with what they did with Gold Lewis and with Jacko so far, I wouldn't put it past them to have Happy Chaos be a lot crazier than expected.
I mean, he has at least two resources. It looks like he has gunshots, and then he has another bar that's underneath that. So he's got something going on that we don't
Something's
know very
going
much
on, yeah.
about. Yeah.
Something's going on.
Right. But I'm excited for the character. I mean, I guess the one thing that I was hoping to see a little bit more of was a little bit more of a zoning style, because he was going to be a gunslinger. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see if he can play a zoning style, because outside of Axel, there really isn't that much zoning in the game still. It feels like the current trend of fighting games in general, which is come out with the game with the one classic zoner who's kind of not really super zonery, but he's still a zoner, and then not have any other zoners until a little bit later in the game when people have figured out how to play the game. That's what it feels like to me, because I feel like that's the way, even NRS going that direction, I felt was, kind of a sign that fighting game devs are scared of making zoners now. They really are. And so, I was kind of hoping we would see a little bit more of that from Happy Chaos, but perhaps not.
I'm not afraid of making grapplers. They should be afraid of those guys.
Dude, they are actually afraid of making grapplers because there's
Are
only
they?
like, yeah, because what happens
17 of them in Street Fighter V, and Dragon Ball Fighters launched, the best character was a grappler.
Right, but here's the thing.
But on launch.
There's always like the one grappler, but then even Mika and Laura, were they really grapplers? Like they're more of that kind of weird Abel hybrid, striking grappler kind of characters. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
I think they're
Mika does damage with
they're
EX.
mildly grapplery.
Yeah. I mean, by normal definitions, they're grapplers.
In any
But-
case, Strive definitely has grappling going on. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
potentially.
Everybody's half the damn cast is a grappler.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about like traditional grappling style.
The big
like-
body, slow grappler
Yeah,
character. Yeah. Every game's got at least one. Some games have a couple. So I don't think that it's in as much trouble as zoning is. But I agree with you on zoning.
Yeah.
For Happy Chaos, yeah. I mean, will he be a zoner? If so, maybe I'm a little bit more interested. But I don't know. I got to tell you this. If I have to go to training mode and that's what I would hear by default, I would have to absolutely change up how I have the songs arranged in my game.
You can change.
I know you can change that, but I've had it on that mode because I like axles, so it's cool with me. But boy, if I, whew,
It's a good song. You're just an
Gnarly.
old man. You're just a boomer. You don't understand, all right?
Dude, you are. I mean, I don't even know. He might be in that strange age where he's not old enough to enjoy the music and then not young enough to enjoy the music. So he's just.
So you just
kinda
hate all music.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
All right, that's fair.
David, you have admitted in the past that you don't really listen to music, right? So.
music sucks. I hate music. Ugh,
I mean,
listening
dude,
to music.
Dude,
Ugh.
can you play over your microphone the throat singing stuff from Dune and let us
I
know
mean-
what music you've been listening to for hours
Yeah,
on
I'll
end?
say, have you listened to actual music or
Send me a
fart
link to
reverb
that. Do you have
for
it
1
on
hour
YouTube?
straight?
I will play it
Or
on the
recent.
stream right now to let people know the kind of music David is listening to these days.
I don't know what you
complete
guys are talking
silence
about.
broken up by fart reverb every 15 minutes on YouTube?
Every once
repeat.
an hour. Yeah.
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 Let's see, Dune throat singing song.
You're looking
here.
it up, huh? Okay. Well,
Oh yeah, and here we go.
I have it in my playlist.
Apparently, we're
but,
just roasting David today. That's what we're doing.
That's fine. That's fine.
He's being a hater of
The
all
roast
things
of
hype.
David. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what David listens to.
Yeah, it's true.
This is not a joke. This is what David listens to as music.
Loop it. Oh no, you didn't. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, if we could just keep this on in the background, I'd be very happy.
No, can we shut this off forever before I have nightmares?
I'll admit that's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's so
but-
cool, James.
No, it's so terrible.
Cool. Oh,
It's so terrible.
Look,
So
I
cool.
am an actual music lover here, okay? I can appreciate all kinds of music.
I can't
All right.
appreciate that shit. That sounded like Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade.
well, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Give me some French fried taters.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Fair enough. Yeah. Maybe Billy Bob Thornton as a intergalactic blood cult dedicated to the Emperor. Maybe.
Yeah, why not?
I think that works. I think that works.
All right. Well, anyway, fantastic discussion, everybody. Anything else to say about Happy Chaos?
He's super dope. Can't wait.
All right.
Well, look, I'm going to here. Hang on a second. Why not? Let's just do this.
3, 2, 1, go!
We've got a. Why is the star not showing up on my thing over here? It's showing
Question
up as question marks. Oh well. I just want to go ahead and add another 5 minutes to this timer over here. Let's just. I'm not 5 minutes. I'm sorry, 2 minutes to the timer over here. So basically, also wanted to say that in this November 30 patch, they're also revealing that they are adding the player lobby customization to Guilty Gear Strive, which, like I said, clearly was something that they wanted since the beginning because they had the Real Tour in the lobbies before, and now they're finally adding this ability to it. We don't know if they're doing any other changes in terms of connectivity, in terms of functionality, etc., etc. But look, I'm going to stay on record again that I like the Strive lobbies. I like the direction that they're going. I understand where their weaknesses are. I understand why a lot of people don't like them and people just want menus. I don't want all this crazy. I just want menus. I want the game to queue me up and all this stuff like that. But I like what they're doing, and I hope more people try stuff like this. And I think the ability to customize your lobbies and gain items for it is cool. I kind of do wish that the items that you gained for customizing your house were not gacha, were not designed through phishing and such. What I kind of wish that they did was, as you played the game, every match you finish would give you money, no matter whether you win or lost, and then you could buy items like that to encourage people to keep playing, and then also not to rage quit, etc., etc. But again, I like the idea of having more of a world that you can exist in ranked. And I think that's really important because the fighting game community has definitely skewed ourselves towards people who like to play fighting games with menus, because the giant chunk of people who want to play fighting games more interestingly with like interactive stuff have all been weeded out because we have nothing but menus.
End of your buster.
There you go.
Congratulations, everybody. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be cool.
I like it. I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, if it is gonna be that style, I'm glad to see that they're leaning more into it. I don't know that I want that style, but there it is. All right, we move on.
All right.
Red Bull Kumite. Let's talk about this. This was an event, of course, where the Happy Chaos thing was revealed. It was a big fancy event put on in Las Vegas by Red Bull. The Kumite series is a long-running thing. They've been in various cities all throughout the world. This is the first time that it was in the U.S. Previously, it's been in Paris and scheduled for other places, and that didn't end up happening. But like, it's been in a lot of different spots. London, it's been around. They always have really cool production. This was the first time when they had 3 different games. There was Street Fighter V and Guilty Gear Strive and Tekken 7. They had, as a result, players from each of them, different people commentating for each of them. Really cool production like usual, right? They always have fun things where each player has like a thing that they have, and then when they lose, they have to give it up in some way. Like this time it was boxing gloves. Previously, it's been like keys to open up a chest. Like they always have some cool idea in that way. Right, did you guys watch?
I got to watch the Guilty Gear. I watched the Guilty Gear segment, and then obviously I was not free during Street Fighter, but I've gone back and I've watched the majority of the top 8. I haven't gotten through the whole entire thing. I have like 2 matches left in the top 8, but it was again, the production was super cool. I love how they set things up over there. I thought the talent that they got over there was really, really strong. I love seeing Joe and Steve and Rob TV doing their thing over there. Sajam was basically just killing it on the analyst desk whenever he got to do the replay stuff. And I don't know. One of the things that makes me the most sad about not being able to be there is I wanted to see if they could like actually make me look as fly as everybody else did over there, because everybody looked so good. And I don't know if that's even possible I don't know if you could make me look fashionable.
Well, those guys pick out their own outfits, so
Yeah.
if you want to drop $800 on a suit like Tasty Steve, By all means, James. I'm sure you could look fly too, man. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that at least
costs
that they,
money
you know,
to look like that.
I mean, look, if somebody could help me with that, I'm totally down. I mean,
that's
Robbie,
been a really long-term plan for Steve as well. He's been working on that hairstyle for probably like 2 or 3 years at this point.
The
And I'm really glad that
Nagoriyuki
he
hair.
stuck with it. Like, it's really cool looking. Yeah. Anyway, they all looked cool. That was nice. I agree that those 4 that you mentioned did super great. I really liked all of them. They had they had Yipes there, but he was like only doing TikTok stuff. I don't think that I saw him.
Yeah.
on
I mean,
the
Persia was awesome
broadcast.
too. Persia was
Persia,
super-
of course, Persia did a great job.
I mean, you can tell that, you know, through all of her experience through, you know, working at GameSpot and doing a lot of hosting over there is really starting to come out. Like her talent as a hostess right now is just like ridiculously strong. Ringe
Yeah,
was also
absolutely.
amazing too.
Oh, Ringe was great. Yep,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think everyone did a great job. I
Yeah, all
know
the people we
zero
talked about did
complaints
great.
on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the people you talked about, fantastic, great job.
They all did great. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. The one thing that I would say that I was ripping on him about was, unfortunately, there weren't that many people there. Right, we're still in the pandemic. The traveling, not that many people are doing it. I'm not ripping on Red Bull for that. Like, that's just the world that we live in. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I just
What was funny was how often they went back to
Some no.
make some yo, everybody give me a round of applause for, and then you hear
All
like
8 of you make some noise. Yeah.
it's like yeah. Did that cracked me up? It kept going back.
All right, so I understand, but I understand doing that once. I understand doing that once with a crowd of no one. It's out of habit.
Yeah,
You get one pass,
yeah.
right? But they did this like another 9 times.
It was hilarious.
I don't
But
think
you know
that
what?
was
It
Joe
probably-
and Steve's call. I don't
was-
think that was Joe and Steve's call.
It was probably louder sounding in the venue than it was on camera. Let's just put it that way. So
Maybe
Kaba was there.
Hard to
It
tell.
had to have been louder in person
yeah.
than it was on stream. Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, look.
Either way, it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a funny thing. It wasn't a big deal. Of course, they did really great. Other than that, that was super cool. Yeah, so I like that side of it. As far as the games go, look, I mean, as we expected, we talked a little bit about it last week and who was going to be there. So many great matches, like some of the best Street Fighter V that I've seen in a long time. Some of the most interesting Guilty Gear that I've seen. That game isn't as old as SF5, obviously, but nevertheless, very, very interesting matches. Did you guys have any particular favorites? Anything that jumps out to you?
Yeah, my favorite part was when I was right about everything.
Okay.
So last week we made our predictions about Red Bull, and I said I like Gobu to take it all, and I'm really cheering for Apology Man. First and third place, Tupperware is an absolute mind genius.
Okay.
I knew Daru was gonna struggle. I knew that Gobu was gonna win. I didn't think that Vineeth would actually get third, though. I'll be honest. I was cheering for Vineeth, but I didn't actually think he was going to take second or third. I mean, but he played incredibly well. That was like my MVP for sure.
Oh, yeah.
His anti-airs are incredible. I can never anti-air the way he can. It's just impeccable the way he controls screen space.
Yeah, and I'm glad because, you know, there's still all those, you know, jokes about Laost and, you know, Faust being bad
That character
and everything
is
like
decent,
that.
man.
And,
That character
yeah,
is so decent.
It's I'm so glad.
He's so decent.
I'm glad that we were able to showcase that as well. That, you know, clearly the character doesn't have any problem. But I mean, Gobo clearly was one of the standouts for me, not just in terms of how he played, because we know how he plays and how good he is. But, you know, one of my favorite things, he said this was his like second offline event or something like that, or something crazy to that effect. But, you know, Japan is not necessarily known for having their players be willing to flaunt their personalities as much. But Gobo, I feel like, I mean, it's changing now. It's definitely changing than it was in the past, right? But Gobo, the way that he did the Terminator walk into the stage all the time, like he wouldn't go fast, and it was almost kind of infectious like. And then when he picked Gold Lewis and started doing the smiling towards the camera and everything, I mean, dude, that was such a joy to see. I love, because like you do something like that, everyone's gonna remember you. Everybody's gonna remember Gobo now, and when Gobo comes on, everyone's gonna be, oh, here comes Gobo. Let's see him play Gold Lewis and kill people. Like, dude, it was just like, he definitely took advantage of his moment in that spotlight. Not only just winning, but also showing people, like, invite this guy to your invitationals, invite this guy to your events, and I feel like he did a great job on that. And it's a good lesson for players to learn, right? To have those kind of things, like even with Infectious doing the whole thing where he ignored all the high fives, in the Euro Kumite, things like that, what Chris CCH did with the posters and everything, these are important things to do as players, and it kind of goes back to the Sonic Fox discussion that we had a few weeks ago about, Sonic Fox being invited and not Hotashi, for example. Those kind of things are important.
I actually kind of want to talk about that. I never not cheer for Sonic Fox.
Of course.
And I wasn't not cheering for them this event.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really glad they didn't win. Because I did not want to hear the discourse once again that Strive is an easy game and the person that didn't practice won the event. I didn't want to hear that shit again. I didn't want to argue with people on Twitter about it. And if Sonic Fox even takes like top 3 at this event, there's going to be words about, oh, Strive is too easy, Strive has no depth, blah, 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 don't need to practice it. And like, I was so tired of hearing that before. It's not being said as much now, and I didn't want that discussion to start again. So thanks, Sonic Fox, for not winning. And to top it off, they did say on Twitter they've been practicing really hard and running sets for this. Like, they were not practiced.
Oh, I'm sure,
but
yeah.
I don't think that would even matter to the public's opinion. They wouldn't even care what Fox said. So, yeah, thanks for not winning, Sonic Fox, for this one time. I appreciate it.
I think that's a really interesting perspective, and I makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, although I haven't been playing as much recently, but that's just because I haven't been playing anything much recently. But the game is a lot deeper than a lot of people are trying to say it is. So I'm glad that we had the showcase. Glad that Gold Lewis is kind of a jokey. No, Gold Lewis is terrifying, and we got to see a lot of good variety on that. But let's talk a little bit about the Tekken and Guilty Gear and the Street Fighter stuff as well. So
I just wanted to say shout outs to Diphone for making second out of the LCQ. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Played amazing, dude. I was so happy for him. Yeah.
Definitely.
Did you see his tweet? Did you see his tweet where he said, I can pinpoint the exact moment that I lost Red Bull Kumite?
No.
Yeah, he actually posted a Discord chat between him and Jan, and Jan's like, you should play Kid Viper's Gold Lewis to practice against Gobo. And Diaphone was like, nah, he's going to play Zato. That's all he's been playing recently.
Oh, no!
That's tough. That's tough.
I thought that was hilarious, dude. I was like, that's amazing. Because we have an amazing Gold Lewis. We have an amazing Gold Lewis. Kid Viper's Gold Lewis is ridiculous, and oops.
Well, maybe we'll talk to Diaphone about that in the near future.
Maybe
hopefully.
Maybe we will.
Maybe.
All right, cool. Well, that was Gear. It was a lot of fun. Tekken then came on. They had 8 players for that as well, including a couple of last-minute qualifiers. Did you guys watch the Tekken side of it?
I watched the grand finals.
Not even a minute.
Okay.
I watched the grand finals, and I haven't seen a lot of Fakum Ran before, so I wasn't sure what he did, but he has been kind of like that position where he kind of came out and was really, really strong, and people didn't like fighting him, and they thought he was too good. I watched him, and his moveset looks kind of good. Like, he just had range, and they were like safe, and his rage drive, his rage art, his rage drive, it was so fast and just did ridiculous amounts of damage. And I was just like, this character looks really strong based on what I know about Tekken, my very, very scrubby Tekken knowledge. Yeah. I was like, this character looks really good. So it was really the first time I saw him in action, and that's who Gen used to win Red Bull Kumite. And, you know, it looked like that character is one of those characters that just has a lot of very natural strengths built into him.
How was the commentary? Was there anything else notable to talk about there?
I mean, the commentary was a little unfortunate because clearly Steve was the only one there that knew anything about Tekken, right? But I will say this: he commentated the top 8 with Persia, and Persia, doesn't know much about Tekken. But she did a great job making sure she wasn't trying to push too hard. Like, you know how some commentators, when they want, like, oh, I gotta sound like I know what I'm talking about. You know, we've all experienced this before, where someone's like, well, you see, he was really good at doing that. I've done this before, when I was trying to commentate games like Tekken and stuff, and she was not trying to push that. She was just vibing with Steve and going along with the action on there. Like, oh, she's going for the wall carry, like, and stuff like that. And so I actually think I think she did an absolutely fantastic job, doing the commentary with Steve on Tekken. So I thought that was really cool.
That's pretty cool. All right. And then Street Fighter was the next day, 16 players for that. So it was more extensive group play before, the single elimination part of it got started. Mm-hmm. And I watched a good amount of that. I had a lot of work to do that day, so it wasn't nearly as much as I would have wanted to, but I did watch a good amount of it. And some of those matches I thought were super, super fun and very interesting. Some of the results weren't what I expected. I did expect that Goichi would get spittooned. I thought that was going to happen for sure. And and it did. But as far as some of the others go, like, Mono was literally an accident by his opponent, Brian F, away from moving on. Like, Brian F screwed up and came out with, I think it was the uppercut
screw upper.
It's
the screw upper, yeah.
The screw upper. And it beat whatever it was that Mono was doing. But that wasn't what he wanted to do. He wanted to just do a crouching medium kick. Props to Brian for admitting that there in person. Because that has actually happened, as he said, he was asked about it. That's happened to him in other events too. He won an LBC by screwing up. So, okay, props for that. But if you're Mono, like, that's tough. That's tough to hear.
Yeah.
Right? So that for me was one of my favorite matches. That was super cool. And then seeing Problem X play with Alex, I thought was really cool. He has such a strong Alex. He beat Punk's Karen with that character, which was a lot of fun for me as well.
I just want to say, I know we're out of time here, but maybe we didn't allot enough time for Red Bull Kumite, because there is a lot to say about this. But I just want to say, pulling a Tubo here, I was right. I used to always say that Alex's crouching medium punch is super good as a poke. And everyone's always like, no, there's nothing good about Alex. He's terrible. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then Rob TV's like, yeah, crouching strong destroys Karen because it's such a good poke. And I was like, see? Oh, sorry, cat. Sorry.
Oh, no.
You punched your cat.
It's never been the case that Alex was all bad. It's just that he had, like, a couple of good things, and crouching medium punch was one of them. But then it was also like, well, you can't snowball really, and it doesn't do any damage by itself. Right. But it does now. He snowballs a lot better than before. With V Trigger 2, crouching medium punch actually matters. Like, Stand Fierce is a much better poke. Like, he's got a lot of other stuff going on at this point, and it was really, really cool to watch. Problem X took the whole thing over NL in a really super good comeback. NL was up 3 games and 1 round in a first to 5, and Problem X came all the way back 5 straight games to take it. Complete reversal of fortune. It's cool. It's cool to watch.
Hey, David, can you also turn up your mic just a little bit more?
Yeah, I gotta.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay.
All right. Well, cool. Congrats to everybody. It was a lot of fun. Good work. Fun to watch.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay. No
All right.
busters here. All right. So because we don't have an interview and we usually use the interview time, the break time to set up interviews, do you want to do what we did last time when we started with the interview and just bust through and no
Let's
breaks?
bust through.
Okay.
Do the thing.
All right.
Let's just
So
do it.
we're going to go to the boom. There we go. So the 5 viewer questions here this week. Go ahead and read them out, David, while I set up a poll.
Absolutely. Number 1 is, what is more stressful to do? Win a large event after being down 0-3, but the crowd is on your side, or have a big lead and prevent your opponent's momentum once they've clutched their first game with the crowd clearly on their side. That may be referring to what we were just talking about. Number 2, there was a trend with older fighting games to start learning a game with a Shoto-like character first. Do you believe this is still the case, or is there another archetype that's better to learn on? Or just pick your fave. 3, there are lots of complaints about PS4/5 creating worse experiences. Now that offline tourneys are coming back, this issue is starting to be at the forefront. How has the FGC moved through these issues in the past, such as the switch from arcade to console? 4, the FGC is still growing within esports, and production values of FGC events pale in comparison to larger games. What did you think of the production of Red Bull Kumite this past weekend? And how do you think FGC esports events can improve moving forward? And then lastly, number 5, what element from invitational events like Red Bull Kumite would be most beneficial if brought over to traditional FGC tournaments?
The voting is set up. You guys can type !1, !2, !3, !4, or !5 in the chat to vote on your question that you would like to see answered. Remember, if you are a subscriber, you can vote twice. So definitely take advantage of that as well. As I'll leave the questions here on the screen for you guys to take a look at. 4 and 5 are pretty similar.
Just as a reminder, we have 2 that we're going to be doing. I know that in the past, when we've had 1 or 2 people have wanted us to say up front, we are going to be doing 2 5-5 matchup viewer questions.
So go ahead.
Give us the votes. Make them happen. Make them happen. What do we got? Votes.
We have 1 clearly in the lead. If it was a week where we were doing 1, we would be done. However,
Okay.
2 questions, as you can see in the poll listing over there. 5 and 2 are very, very close to each other right now. So I'm going to give that a little bit time. Nope, it looks like the lead is building up. I'm going to close the poll in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, gone. Okay, so the questions will be number 3 and number 5. Those
Sweet.
are the questions that we are going to be answering. So
Let's start with number 3 then. Why not?
all right, how am I going to shorten
That
this
is-
one down?
Okay, well, here's the question.
Oh boy.
There are lots of complaints about PS4/5 creating worse experiences. Now that offline tournaments are coming back, this issue is starting to be at the forefront. How has the FGC moved through these issues in the past, such as the switch from arcade to console?
Well, I think it should be something James touches on first because, well, I wasn't there for the switch from arcade to console.
So it's a lot of complaints about PS5 creating worse experience. Now that offline turns, because this issue is starting to be at the forefront. I mean, this is an interesting situation here, right? Because this is more just, I think, a fault of just, I mean, I don't know what these devs are doing and why they're doing such a bad job on the PS4 and PS5, honestly, because these consoles are super powerful. So they definitely have the power to be able to, have the same kind of performance as the PC. But obviously the PC these days, these are like $1,000 rigs here, right? So people are like, oh my gosh, check out my, like if I was running Guilty Gear on my old PC, like who knows what the hell would be happening on my Guilty Gear, right? So a lot of people, when they talk about this, they're talking about, my freaking, crowd-funded, over $1,000, like almost $2,000 computer over here. And so you have to realize that going from the arcade to the console was an increase in convenience, right? We went from how the hell do we go from getting cabinets into these tournaments? I mean, Evo had to go find every local arcade in Southern California and rent cabinets from like 4 different sources just to get the cabinet. And now, by spending much less, we could just have all these consoles and play, just get a bunch of $60 discs, and it was an increase in convenience. If we go from consoles to PCs, that's an increase in inconvenience, right? Unless the Steam Deck turns out to work out really well, that there is that possibility, and that the Steam Deck can solve a lot of these problems. But, you know, Arturo, who's been on the forefront of this, you know, we have to have special monitors to get the 144 hertz and whatever like that. He's 3D printing things so that we can have the, you know, the adapters on the computer so that you don't accidentally pull it out and, you know, of the thing when you're disconnecting your controllers and all these things. Like, this is an increase in inconvenience, and so it's not quite the same kind of thing, because now we're just trying to move towards performance, and so it's interesting. I don't see it as quite the same analogous kind of situation. I think we're stuck on consoles for a while until the PC can be proven to work conveniently. That's kind of how that's where I stand on it. In any case, so any thoughts from you guys on this?
No, I mean, not on what you said in particular. Besides the end part of, we'll see with Steam Deck. Steam Deck is not like a money saving tool necessarily when it comes to setting up for PCs at tournaments. If you want to run tournaments on Steam Deck, you're going to need to upgrade the hard drive inside of it. You're going to need to buy the additional dock. You're going to need to have ports for controllers and so on and so forth. So in the end, it probably is cheaper than having PC setups overall. And it's a little bit smaller, but it's still really expensive. Like, don't expect your local TOs to be running your, Guilty Gear Strive tournament on 144 hertz monitors on Steam Deck. Like, don't expect that of them, is basically what I'm saying. Maybe at big majors like, Evo, CEO, Combo Breaker. Maybe. But probably not. They'll probably run with PS4s and PS5s and just get used to it, guys. Like, the 144 hertz monitors, that's actually not that big of a problem. They're becoming more and more affordable every year. That's not that big of a deal. And there are sponsors that are willing to give monitors or loan monitors. So that's not that big of a deal either. It's the actual hardware of the PC is it's a hurdle. It's a big hurdle.
Really quick, just want to say that, I mean, outside of the big tournaments, like Evo might go with the Steam Deck instead of the PlayStation. Evo, that is owned by PlayStation right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, who's going to do it? Like, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
don't count on it, guys.
Even on top of that, like, hopefully it's the case that Steam Deck solves some of the interoperability issues that sometimes comes up, drivers issues that PCs sometimes have. It seems like they are trying to solve that, but obviously we don't know like how that's going to go. Hopefully it will be the case. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Steam Deck will be good as well. We'll talk about that later on. But certainly in the meantime, and other than that, I mean, it's not like the arcade to the console transition in the sense that there's not as much impetus for it. At the absolute top level, where people, the difference between having a PlayStation 4 and not a fancy monitor, or fancy monitor plus high level PC, means that you're like actually hit confirming more regularly. You're a more effective player. Like, that is only at the highest max level, right? It's not the case for almost everybody. And that's not irrelevant, obviously, but that's the impetus is not the same as it was when we were transitioning from arcade to console, where people were owning consoles more. Time was that fighting game players didn't own fighting games on consoles, right? You might own a console, but like you weren't playing your games on console because they just weren't that good on it. But at some point that started to change, and it was just like James was saying, it was about convenience. It was cheaper. It made sense. There was an impetus for it. I don't really see that in this case, not at least in the same way. So hopefully PC at the max level again seems like it's better, right? But that's probably not going to lead to them being at events very commonly.
Yep.
The last thing that I want to add to this, since we do have some time, I don't need to use my buster for this, is that I also don't want to gatekeep our hobby through price.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right? So the advantage of fighting games has always been that you put a quarter up and you play, and if you win, you only spend the quarter. The consoles, are definitely cheaper to access than PCs, like forcing people into the 144 hertz monitors. I mean, it's what makes a lot of the other esports, a lot of times they're not as accessible to the entire, community of players out there, because it is expensive to get a good PC to have the best hertz so that you can aim perfectly, etc., etc. I like that fighting games are very accessible. They're on one console. You don't have the option of maximizing. Even the argument of having to spend hundreds of dollars on a joystick is basically non-existent, because of the pad players are as good.
You don't need it.
There's just no reason to go to joystick. A lot of times people on my streams will be like, I'm considering getting a joystick. I'm like, do you want one, or are you like, because I think I've heard it's better, and I'm like, are you fine on pad? They're like, yeah. I'm like, then don't get a joystick. Sure. Yeah. That's basically what it comes down to. So staying away from the PC realm also, I think, keeps it open to as many people as possible.
Yeah, hard to imagine this stuff all changing very quickly. Steam Deck seems like it's the only real possibility of that. We're going to have to wait a while longer to see if that's true.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay. Next question is, and I can get the whole question on here. What element from invitational events like Red Bull Kumite would be the most beneficial if brought over to traditional fighting game tournaments?
Yeah, this one and question 4 I thought were pretty related. Question 4 asking, what did you think of the production of Red Bull Kumite this past weekend, and how do you think FGC esports events can improve moving forward? It's a very similar question in my mind. So as far as what should be done, honestly, I feel like many of the biggest FGC events, I feel like are already doing many of the things that Red Bull does, with the exception that Red Bull has infinite dollars, which is just going to be a difference. Like, Red Bull is a very, very wealthy, gigantic company. I don't know how much money they spent on this event, but it was a tremendous amount, clearly. And that's cool. It makes for a lot of fun, but there's also no way at all that they made anything like reasonable amount of their money back. Like, it's just absolutely not the case. So they're willing to do that. They have the budget to do that. Fighting games aren't the only thing that they do that in. They do that in everything. They spend so much money. One time when James and I were in Paris for Red Bull Kumite, we met with one of the higher ups in the Red Bull marketing department from Austria, and I remember talking with him about it. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like they were just spending astronomical sums and didn't really care that much whether it led directly to sales or to their money back, because it's about brand recognition, right? It's
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. So this is separate from what fighting game events can do, because fighting game events need to make their money back. They need to be a little bit profitable, at least. I would hope that the TOs are making significant money. That doesn't happen as often as it
No
should.
way should anyone get paid for the work they do.
Imagine
how
putting in
dare
like
you.
1,000
last
hours
week-
and not making money.
People last week on the show were joking that I was trying to get a Red Bull sponsorship because I was talking about how much I actually enjoy the watermelon Red Bulls now,
Ugh.
and I honestly, I would have, if it wasn't for FGC, I probably would have no ties to Red Bull at all. So that's what they're doing. It's the brand recognition. I'm
100%, dude. That is absolutely the point, and it's not the kind of thing that other FGC events can do. So that aside, I feel like some of the things that they do that are really nice are also done by some other events. They have very unique production. I'm not even talking about the money necessarily, but the ideas that they have are unique. They have interesting. We didn't talk about this actually, but for Red Bull Kumite, they had a whole package. That is to say, a whole video about sticks that were custom made for Anakin. These 3 different people made different sticks. Super sick. That's very unique, right? And that's something that they've been doing. I actually have a unique Red Bull stick that I got many years ago from them. Yeah, James. Yeah, you have one as well. So that's an ongoing thing. the Octagon is an ongoing thing for Red Bull Kumite series. Like, it has its own ideas. So do FGC events like CEO and like Combo Breaker and like Evo. So that side of it, I feel like we are doing. It's just we don't have infinite dollars, right? I feel like that's the big difference.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the events that the FGC has, I mean, I think we're getting there. The one advantage that the Red Bull, I mean, outside of the dollars, so let's that's the obvious answer, right? Have infinite money. The other thing too, though, is that most FGC events are run by a bunch of nerds who don't have a lot of like artistic, you know. So a lot of the, I mean, what we have in Red Bull Kumite is to be able to theme it with the cage, you know, with the one that was in Europe, they had the cool little alleyway with the bricks and the broken bricks, and they were throwing all the things into the stuff, you know. So that's actually a really big advantage. Now, obviously, we do have great designers. The one that comes out in mind, obviously, is always going to be Combo Breaker, because Rick is a very artistic person and has great vision and everything. But even then, you can see he's limited by, as David said, budget, right? And so, you know, that's just the whole thing is, if we want to get to that level of Red Bull Kumite Productions, there is going to have to be that factor where we're going to have to start, you know, trying to theme things a little bit more, which is why I love that CEO is the wrestling themed one with their ring, and how ECT has the music theming and everything like that, right? Like, Evo is just clearly tournament, right? Like, outside of that, it's kind of stale,
So
you
it's
know,
like
in a
what
way,
game?
right? What's
Can
that?
you do that again? Can you do that's like what?
Yeah, it's just like tournament, and that's like
All right.
basically
Sure.
all it is, right? And you know, I that's why I've always been a fan of seeing the events go down their hobby path and kind of building that stuff in there. And even Evo doesn't have, you know, the money to be able to spend on just ridiculous, like crazy customized sets and everything like that. Like, I've been there in the days they're setting up. Largely, they're using exactly what the venue has available to them and designed in a way that works. I mean, they did have the Evo logo stage, which is awesome, right? Which is really nicely done and such. But, you know, you don't have the ability to design the whole arena, the floors. And, you know, I still remember being at an Evo and being near all these, like, you know, big esports guys. And they were walking around Evo and they were like, man, this is way less production than I thought it was going to be. They're like, it's just like they're just using regular tables, you know, like you know, we don't have like every station isn't its own customized, like, you know, cool station with Evo decorations and flashing lights.
Mountain Dew training section.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's just, you know, again, would we have all that if we had the money? Probably. So, despite the fact that I'm sitting here talking about artistic vision, it just comes down to money. It just comes down to what you can build. So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to add. I was just going to say, yeah, bring over the money.
Yeah.
That's all we need. We're broke. We need more cash.
I mean, it's not right to say that we're broke.
We're
Like,
broke, David.
we have events that are sustaining themselves, which is good.
Got no credit.
It's just that for other esports, marketing is such a huge part of it. The League of Legends esports stuff does not make money. They're losing money in doing that, but that's okay because it's marketing essentially for the game. They lose
So what
money
you're
all the time
saying-
on that.
what you're
Same with
saying
Overwatch.
is-
The Overwatch League is not making money.
What you're saying is Riot and Activision Blizzard and all those companies, they're the 1%. And the FGC is bringing in like $60K a year, and they got a wife and a kid. That's what you're saying right now.
and they don't have healthcare right now.
Bro, we definitely live paycheck to paycheck, is what I'm saying.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that the TOs do live paycheck to paycheck in a sense. Yeah.
I mean, look at what happened to.
It's not going to change because it's grassroots oriented. Even for
Right.
things like Capcom Pro Tour, whatever Pro Tour, they're kind of piggybacking for the most part on other things. I guess CPT's doing that less now because it's all online, but it's still not. Capcom can't put in Riot money. They can't put in Activision Blizzard money.
Let's put it this way. I was actually talking about this with some people on my stream yesterday. You if when the pandemic happened, if Riot had to shut down a League of Legends event because of the pandemic and they couldn't use a force majeure clause, they can suck it up, right? But like, look what happened to NCR. They had to shut down last year and they lost all that money. It's just gone. It's not like, I mean, we are just at, like David was saying, we are at a point where we have to be able to sustain ourselves. That's the idea. And then, people like John Choi are running NCR at a negative budget just because he has the passion for it. NCR's not making any money, right? He's not profiting from that. He's even shown the receipts for it before. The people all working for him are not getting paid. They're just doing it for like volunteer and because they love the scene and they want to make sure that they can put on a great show. It's tough, man. And we just don't have that budget yet, and we'll probably never have that budget because we are centralless. It's not, we aren't the Capcom event, we aren't the NRS scene, etc., etc. Our scene encompasses all the fighting games, and I think that's a strength to our scene. But that just means we're never gonna get that kind of budget that we're gonna see from a lot of those other companies.
It means that it's bottom up, which is good. I mean, we've had this conversation many times. That's how many of us want it to continue to be. I hope that it will continue to be like that. I also hope that there will be more money in the sense of more people going to things and watching things. Like, we all want TOs to do well and for more events to be bigger, have more events, yada yada. But it won't be Riot selling out a giant stadium and doing fancy AR things. Like, it's probably not going to be like that. Yeah.
Right.
All right, we move on. Oh boy.
Right.
Oh boy.
Cool. All right. Well, here's what happened. So Zero, you may recall, was a Smash player. What did he win? Like 50 tournaments in a row or something? It was wild. But then last year? Yeah,
it was last year, 2020.
Yeah. Sorry, that's just he was alleged to have done some pretty terrible things with respect to underage people, and initially denied that and ended up admitting to it, and essentially left Smash. He had already stopped competing by that time, but was a big content creator and left it. And people didn't want him in the scene, essentially, right? Because that's
right.
Well, he has come back. He put a video up and some tweets up, essentially saying that, in fact, he denies the things that he previously admitted to. And he isn't intending to have any active comments on things. He's intending to have his legal team take care of that stuff. I don't know what that means exactly. He also says he's not fault-free, but those mistakes don't represent the person he is today or the person he wants to be going forward. So anyway, he's going to be making content again. What do you all think about this?
I think I'll watch as much Zero content as I did before all that stuff happened, which was zero. So that's what I think about that.
Nice
I
work.
have no other thoughts. I'm not going to watch his shit. I didn't watch it before. I'm not going to watch it now. Whatever, man.
I guess I'll be watching as much as I saw of it in the last year.
Yeah,
It wasn't making
zero.
any. Dude, yeah, I mean, it's important to me that people have the ability to rehabilitate themselves and to learn from things and to come back after that happens. That does matter to me, not just in the criminal justice system, but like in our little scenes. But if it seems like somebody's doing the same kind of thing over and over again and isn't learning and doesn't want to take responsibility for what they admitted that they did, then I don't want them back. I mean, if somebody is changing, learning lessons, not going to do the same stuff, but also takes responsibility for having done the stuff, I mean, we've talked about this many times as well, especially last year when news like this was coming out left and right for a couple of months. I don't want those people around. I don't. So I don't know how other people are reacting to this. I mean, I saw some people who I follow in the Smash scene who weren't happy about it. But I also looked at the Zero tweet and how many people were like, "That's great, happy to hear it that you're back. Oh, I'm looking forward to your content." You know, that's how that goes. I don't know how much that's going to end up being, but he had a very big following in his content creation.
Yeah, I mean, look, in this kind of situation, especially for content creators, it's really just always going to come down to the court of public opinion, right? It's just, at this point in time, who do you believe? He said, she said, and we've seen this kind of situation a lot of times, right? I mean, even in the fighting game community proper, there's the infiltration situation, right? A lot of people still support him. There's a lot of people who don't support him as anymore, and it's just going to be how. There's no way anyone's going to come to a distinct conclusion. And I think that, at this point in time, it's like I said, I mean, there's nothing I can say that's going to change anybody's mind in either direction. You know what I mean? And I just, like you said, for me, I like to see I don't want to call it remorse. Like, I don't need, dry, fake crying, that we might have seen recently in other venues, stuff and such, but I just there is a sign of maturity that you can sense from people on how they handle situations, and are taking responsibility for things. That's kind of the situation here. And like David said, I don't want to. You make a mistake and then you're done forever. Like that's people have the ability to change. They have the ability to grow. So, at this point in time, it's kind of a time will tell situation. So, we'll really not much I can say about it, because like I said, I'm not changing anyone's opinion, and any direction that I go, if I say, look, I'm happy that Zero's back because, he was a great content creator, and, or I could say, you know what? No, screw this guy. He deserves to be, canceled, whatever like that. There's going to be a lot of opposition either direction. So
For sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm not.
I mean, he was a guy who we knew personally. He came on our show a couple or a few times over the years, and was always very nice in person with us. But that is not the same, right? Our experiences with him are not the experiences that he was alleged to have done and at least temporarily admitted to have engaged in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, with respect to the Twitlonger essentially that he put up a while back, being essentially a suicide note, I'm obviously very glad that wasn't carried out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah. But that's again not the same as saying that I believe that he seems like he's changed and has learned things and has taken responsibility. It doesn't seem that way. So I don't know. He says he will allow his legal team to do the work. I just don't know what that entails. What does the legal team do in this case?
They do the work.
Maybe they do the work.
They do the work, David.
Well, good luck to the legal team, I suppose. All right.
So we're kind of hitting now the Tuesday show done quick portion here of the show, where we just kind of go through the rest of these topics real quick. Whip has been announced in KOF 15 as the latest character. Most people speculating that she's going to end up on the K-Dash team. We still don't know if it's going to be with Kula or Maxima. Probably Kula because SNK wants money. And the Whip trailer came out. She was a DLC character in 14. It's very clear that some characters got some touch-up love between 14 and 15. And it's very clear when some characters did not get a lot of touch-up love. Whip definitely falling into that latter category. She's rough. She is definitely rough. So,
have you ever thought about how fighting games just kind of see a thing in a character and then they just name them after that thing? Like, for example, Whip has a whip and she's named Whip.
Okay.
Or the dog in Punch Planet, it's named Dog.
I mean, look, it was
Yeah,
all.
a third. I'd love to hear a third.
I'm sure there's other ones. I'm
Dude,
just
it
saying,
was
like
started
this,
as a-
this happens.
It was a trend that was started by the greatest fighting game of all time, ER Kung Fu. You
Okay.
know, where star through stars, and Tonfa fought with a Tonfa,
yeah.
Bo fought with a Bo, and Fetal fought with a Fetal. Was his name Fetal? I don't even remember, but
I don't have no
Fought
idea.
with a fetus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, but yeah, Whip looks a little rough, but SK did
Dude,
say
there's
that there
actually
was.
there's one moment in her trailer where I had to look into whether there was a jump cut or not. I had to like slow it down to try to see whether they cut through or whether it was actually just the move.
Nope.
That's so like
That's the move.
I think it's the move.
Yeah. And okay, I like Keats in the chat saying, "Whip is not a creative name," said the guy who named 2 characters Dive and Kick.
There's 2 characters who are named after what they do.
Yep, exactly. So there you go.
How common is the thing?
Also revealed in a trailer was Poisana in
Oh, wait,
Power
I just-
Rangers.
I wanted to briefly say about that last one that KOF 15 beta is actually available for pre-download now.
Oh, that's right,
You can't
yeah.
play it yet, but if you want to, you can like go on PSN and
Yeah.
put it in your library.
Myself and Olaf will be streaming a lot of that and probably trying to run some player lobbies on Saturday and Sunday. So if you guys are interested in checking out KO15 in the beta, even if you aren't playing it and just want to watch some people play it, first day on Friday will be a lot of us doing training mode stuff. And then Saturday and Sunday, we will be doing a lot of playing against each other and stuff. 8 characters available, but obviously, I'm going to try to learn the game, obviously. This will be the first KOF that I probably really give a serious, honest shot to. So we'll see what happens. And yeah.
Good luck.
All right. So Poisana in Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. So again, Battle for the Grid is in the middle of season 4, and there's 3 characters that was revealed for that. Poisana being the second one, and a trailer came out for her. And the only thing I can really say about this, because obviously I don't keep up with the game anymore, but again, when the game first came out, very rough looking game, right? But currently, like Poisana, like a lot of personality in her animations. Wait, what's the confused look, David?
Is that the name of the character?
Isn't it? Or did I get it wrong?
I think it's Poisandra.
Is it?
I think
Poisandra.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Poisandra.
It's Poisandra.
Poison. Obviously, I don't know much about Power Rangers, the IP. I'm glad that Investigation Cone of all people corrected me on that one.
So James, tell us more about Poisana.
Poisana.
So,
This
Poisana.
character that you've made up right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Your fan character Poisana is coming along very well.
No, but I mean, I just think that Poisandra had really good animations, and just like you can see a lot of personality in her character design, and I thought that was really cool. And obviously it's Power Rangers. It's gonna be silly by nature. She's throwing out giant cake bombs and stuff, but she does these little dances, and I think that's really. I thought obviously, like I said, the game started out kind of rough, but now it looks pretty cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Steam Deck delayed. So we said we were going to talk about this a little bit more, but the Steam Deck has been delayed till February. So February is going to be a crazy month, by the way. A lot of stuff happening during that time. But I know some people are really, really sad about that, but obviously due to parts shortages, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not planning to get one. I don't really have any investment in it. I don't know if either of you guys have pre-ordered it. Like, how do you guys feel about the delay?
About the delay, I mean, it's expected. It's like nobody can get GPUs right now, including manufacturers. So there's issues with silicone being in shortage and blah 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 blah. It was expected. It was expected to get delayed, but it only got delayed 1 month, right? Like, it was supposed to come out in January. Getting delayed 1 month isn't that big of a deal. Also, all the beta units that people have been showing off have looked great, so that's cool. I'm not going to buy one right away, but I am interested in getting one eventually. I mean, I have a huge Steam library that I could play on the go. That would be sick.
I feel exactly the same way. I'm not planning to get it right away just because I expect that there will be some problems with the initial run. It just tends to happen with new electronics. So yeah,
do
I'm
we know-
absolutely interested in getting one eventually. Yeah.
Do we know how heavy it is? Because I swear from all the videos that I look at, it looks like it's kind of bulky, but
I'm sure that info's out there, but I haven't looked into it.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
But I'm sure there are specs you could find. Yeah.
okay.
All right.
So there was a it was an arena fighter, Jump Force,
Yep.
which had a bunch of the anime characters in there, such as Luffy from One Piece, I believe, and a whole bunch of other characters that you guys, I'm sure, know all the names of.
Absolutely. Luffy from the show. There's there's Cowboy Bebop is in there. He's my favorite character.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
I don't think
but I mean-
Cowboy Bebop is in that. to be
No, I don't know
honest.
anything about it.
I'm pretty sure it's all shown.
I mean, Luffy
I
from
definitely
One Piece,
don't know
but
anything about it.
One Piece is not that good of an anime, right? Like people don't actually like that anime,
Naruto
right?
from Fortnite. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not commenting on that, James.
I know.
I don't need.
I've
I
never
don't
seen
need
it.
the One Piece fanboys coming after me.
I have never seen it. I'm sure it's good. I know Keats is in the chat, and so I'm just, Keats is one of the Keats is definitely one of the biggest proponents of One Piece out there.
look, I played the game before it came out. I never bought it. I played it at whatever E3 it was where they were showing it off. I didn't like it. I felt like I found instantly abusable things right away. I guess not enough people liked it. I would say I don't think it looked very good. I saw how
it
it
reviewed
looked in the final
poorly.
version.
It is what it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, as a result, the game is end of lifing. They said in February it's going to be delisted. You can no longer buy the game. The servers will still keep running, however, up until about August, and that's when the game will shut down. And so basically, they're end of lifing the game. So you'll be able to play it obviously locally. Just all the offline modes, all the online modes are gone at that point. So
All
there
right.
you go.
Moving on. Oh, my favorite topic's coming up. The Game Awards. Is this the one this is not the one that has me blocked on
No,
Twitter.
you're banned from the esports awards.
Right.
Were
okay,
you
yeah.
banned from the esports awards?
They blocked him on Twitter.
They sure did.
Are you serious? Wait, what was the final straw? What was the final straw?
Oh, just me like relentlessly needling them about all sorts of weird decisions and having. I think the thing that finally did it was they were giving Daigo a lifetime award, and they said that he won like 5 EVO titles, and I was like, EVO, you guys couldn't do like the most basic of research, whatever number of EVO titles he has. I don't remember offhand. And then in that video. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award, class of 2020, and this little like screenshot comes up. It's a little graphics package of that phrase kind of rotating around, and there's a specific spot where you can pause it where it really looks like it says Esports Awards Lifetime Achievement Ass of 2020.
Yes.
Which I screenshotted and put up.
The bad part about it was you didn't even really have to like pause it at a certain time. Like it basically just said ass of 2020 through the whole video.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It was rough.
So anyway, then whoever the guy is who runs it tweeted at me and was like, "I can't believe that you're so mad at our awards. We're
Can't
just a small
believe you've done
business." And I was like, "I wish your small business the best, but please like do some research about the FGC if you're gonna include it." And
Block,
anyway,
block, son.
big old block.
Son.
So
Here's never give Ultra David an award.
I'm never gonna get an esports awards award. Wait, wasn't I nominated for one, or was that the other one? Anyway,
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't
Look,
remember either. Here's
this
what's
one-
happening. There's
this
the
one is-
Game Awards.
The Game Awards are clearly doing better and doing the research, right? Because they also tweeted out, congratulations, Yoshinoro Ono, on the success of your game and your hard work.
You know that meme where someone says, "I made this," and they hand it to someone,
Yep.
and then they stare at it and they go, "I made this." It's literally Ono taking credit for Melting
Yeah,
Blood.
it's like, you made this, I made this.
Yeah. That man came in with 3 months left before the game came out and said, "Yep, my team did it. We're nominated for the Game
Yeah,
Award."
that tweet was since deleted because it definitely
Yes.
got some traction on the internet.
Yeah, the Game Awards got dunked for doing that.
But they did announce their 5 games that are nominated, and do I even have that anywhere here?
Yeah, I put the link in there.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it right now. There it is. Okay.
First of all, the category is called, quote, Best Fighting. Unquote.
Best fighting.
That's the category name. Best Fighting. Here are the fantastic nominees. There is Guilty Gear Strive, a game that came out this year. That's obviously a really good one. Melty Blood Type Lumina, same thing, came out this year. Really good. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl also came out this year. Seems pretty fun. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. It's a game that came out. Cool.
In 2004.
A million years ago, and had a update that, anyway, it happened. Well, don't forget about your favorite game that was nominated for Best Fighting.
Yeah, which one was it?
That would be Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles Tupperware. That would be the other nominee.
That game so much. I know everything about that game.
I mean,
like,
you guys,
for example, I know that it exists now. So
yes.
that's good.
Do you know anything about the franchise that it's based on? I mean, like, is it
Demon Slayer? It's a very popular anime.
Even popular? No, okay. No, it's super popular. Like, it's all over Japan. So I just wanted to. I know Tubo probably knows. I'm wondering if David had any idea. That's all.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard that phrase before in my life, so why not?
Enough.
But I look, when I saw that this was nominated, I did look it up. I saw it on YouTube. And actually, it's got nice animations. It looks good. I don't know how it plays. It seems like it's kind of like a tag arena fighter.
Nathan, what are you doing? Jesus.
I was wondering. I thought James was really offended by something you said for a second.
You called it a tag arena fighter?
How dare you? I guess Nathan's on the loose.
Nathan, calm down.
Causing problems. Good old Nathan.
Nathan.
Oh boy.
A few days ago, my cat jumped on my dining room table and then off the wall and then hit the ceiling and fell to the floor. So
Jesus.
Nathan is doing the zoomies.
Nathan is basically pestering Jasmine right now. And,
good boy. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I look forward to seeing who the winner of the best military contractor in esports is from the Game Awards.
It's gonna be Army.
Do you like Army? No,
Army FGC.
All right, we've got enough time here. Let's go. Here we go.
I think the esports.
Unless you guys any one of you wants to use your buster on that one. So
no thanks.
Let's go through the tournament results here really quickly. We had a bunch of stuff happen. Obviously, Red Bull Kumite was one of them. Happening also yesterday and the day before that was Reflex Ultimate. Which was the 10-year celebration of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 that K-Brad ran. They all went to Vegas to go play offline some Marvel 3. It was won by Angelic in first place. Second place was Mundank, and third place was Jabril. But this is the first time that Angelic, he said it's taken 10 years for him to win, and he's like super happy and obviously very excited about winning this one. So congratulations to him. That's really, really cool. Let's go, Shumagorath. Let's go.
I watched a bunch. It was a lot of fun. Super, super fun game to watch, of course. And I mean, it was great in the sense that like Marvel 3 just has really good player and gameplay variety, and even with if it's the same team sometimes, and that was really cool to watch again. I would say that some of those players definitely didn't look like they were at the top of their game, to be honest. Other players looked like they were killing it, so that seems like it's a very one person or the other thing. Not everybody there was not looking good. Some people looked amazing, but it was cool. I liked it overall. Great.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Okay. You already know I like Marvel, so
absolutely.
I don't need to go any farther than that.
Yeah, and the chat was cool actually. Just like seeing old names in there was pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, and then Celtic Throwdown was also this weekend. Again, one of the people who was one of the co-founders of it was one of the members of the FGC that passed away recently. and also I know Celtic Throwdown had some trouble, with the COVID and venues and such, and so I'm really happy to see that they managed to pull off this event and have it be offline as well, and get all these players in house to play over there. So
yeah, it was cool. I didn't think that we needed to go through all the results because there are a lot of different games, but it was definitely. I watched some of it. I watched the Mortal, for example, because that's what I'm interested in.
Okay.
But yeah, it was cool. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, no, really happy for them to have been able to accomplish that. Also, what else took place this weekend? Mainstage, which was a big platform fighter tournament, took place, including Nick's All-Star Brawl, which was won by Thunder's Reign using the best turtle, Leonardo. Smash Ultimate was won by MKLeo with Byleth. And Smash Melee was won by Wizrobe with Captain Falcon. And second place was Hungrybox. So, obviously this is a pretty big win for Wizrobe here.
Yeah, for sure.
Being able to win with Captain Falcon here. Tekken Online Challenge was this weekend. The South America Regional was won by Abel de Maestro with Eddie, Eliza, and Akuma. West Africa Regional was won by Shaoling with Master Raven. The Smash World Tour continues. Melee in East Asia was won by Amsa with Yoshi. Let's go Amsa. Cool. And so those are tournament results there.
Okay, then we got another tournament that was not technically fighting games, but okay, a lot of us watched it anyway. And James was there, the Classic Tetris World Championships.
Yep. The Classic Tetris World Championships took place this weekend. The reason why I couldn't make it to Red Bull Kumite as commentator or just as to visit, because I would have loved to have seen everybody there. Again, it's such a crazy year for Classic Tetris because the new technique rolling came out, and you could see the power that it has. Joseph had to go through two rollers on his side of the bracket. Joseph, of course, the person who dethroned Jonas as the champion, and he is a hyper tapper. And he had better Tetris rates than some of his opponents, but then he would top out once it got to the kill screen, 29, he would get to 30, 31, and then he would top out. But then his opponent would be able to survive even with a lower score at that point, and just continue to keep clearing singles and triples and doubles and singles and singles. His opponent, Huff, got to level 41 at one point, when he was able to chase down Jonas, Joseph, when he was able to chase down Joseph. And sometimes he even beat him sometimes and just kept doing it just to practice. And like I said, he got to level 41, got to level 40 at some point in time. Joseph did manage to defeat the first one, Richie, and then Huff, who was basically the best roller there at the time, was able to defeat him and get to grand finals.
Huff was the best roller there at the time, huh?
Yeah.
Video games,
right.
man.
Huffaluffagus, okay? Oh, there you go. I'll just say his full name, Huffaluffagus.
He definitely huff puffs and rolls some shit up. I can tell you right now.
He's probably a teenager, dude. Come on.
The other side of the oldest person in the tournament was
teenagers don't do that.
The oldest person in the tournament was 24 years old, I think, which was Nenu from Indonesia, who got fourth place last year. The craziest thing about it is, with all this crazy change coming, the top 5 from last year was the same top 5 as this year. Now, obviously, the 5th place person is tied with the other 3 players because it was single elimination. But literally 5 of the top 5 were the exact same. And in fact, the champion Dog won again this year, but he did it defeating Huffaluffagus. Going up against the rolling with his hyper tapping, and he did it by having an 80% Tetris rate. So again, 60 is considered max out pace. 60 means you're like that's as low as you can be to get max out kind of a score, and 80% is really hard to have as a Tetris rate, and that's what he had to get. And so Huff would actually try the chase down on Dog at some points, but he just couldn't. Getting the singles, the triples, and stuff weren't enough to catch him all the way up. So Dog was able to win, but it still raises a lot of question. You can even see a lot of the purists in the chat. They're talking about banning rolling and stuff like that because it ruins the integrity of the game and such. And it's a really interesting situation because there is a level of that that I completely understand, that you want to be able to have the ability to create a great stack and have a better Tetris rate as opposed to just being able to survive towards the end. And it's really interesting, and everybody who was eliminated kept saying that they were going to take up rolling. Joseph even literally said, today might be the last day I ever hyper tap. And he's like, I'm probably just going to learn rolling. Every single one of them, but even Dog, who won at one point in time, was practicing rolling on stream. And Joseph, and it's interesting because Joseph has even said, the way he plays, he has to freeze his hand in this position like this to hyper tap. And he says that his daily life, his wrists hurt. And so, rolling might be something important for him to learn to kind of save his hands and everything like that. But at the same time, a lot of people don't like what rolling is bringing to the game, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a really interesting time and a really interesting situation, but also really amazing that Dog was still able to win, especially with those 80% Tetrises. It's ridiculous, but before you would get like a 76 Tetris, like you would have a 70% Tetris rate, you max out on level 27, that's like a guarantee you won that match. And this year, so many people lost their matches at like 67% with 1 point some million scores, like over max out and stuff. It's crazy the level of competition that this game has gotten to.
Imagine being a Tetris conservative. I don't like rolling. It's too good. You're advancing the game far beyond what I thought it could have been. Imagine not wanting to be a progressive in that situation. That's so backwards to me.
I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I get it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, actually, what Keats is saying is like, just play Tetris on a hitbox. So the thing about it is, rolling is, again, this is me going off of my soapbox. All the Tetris people know I talk about this a lot. But, I really think that there's a benefit to opening the game up. We've discovered a technique now that has removed all of the limitations of this pad. Like, we can obviously, like, the max right now, the record is level 52. We will get to a level 99 at some point in time, I think, once someone masters rolling to the degree that, like, is, because it doesn't get any faster. It's the same speed from level 29 on. It never gets any faster, right? Whatever the max you can get to, someone's probably going to get pretty close to that at some point in time. So we've obviously eliminated the need for the restrictions on this. So I actually think that, opening it up to any controller on the Tetris Effect version, so it's accessible to everybody, I think, I don't know. Like, I know I'm probably coming from the fighting game perspective, which Tubo was, kind of joking about, where I don't want to nerf the game. I want to keep the people being able to show their techniques and their strength. Rolling is awkward. Like, you have to hold the controller like upside down and play like this and do we want to force people to learn that to keep up with the other rollers, or do we just want to open the game up, just let people play on a hitbox now, kind of thing?
Let
it's an interesting,
whatever controller they want, man.
Right. It's an interesting conversation.
I definitely support teenagers not ruining their hands for long periods of time.
And that's the other reason. And not only that, in my opinion, and again, this is all just James Chen soapbox here, but having us play on the most recent version that is currently on sale and just came out on Steam, we're selling copies of the game, gives Tetris Company more reasons to put in more money into the event and such, So I'm definitely looking at from the esports side of things and just the longevity of it, because there is a limited number of NESs and NES pads in the world right now, and Tetris cartridges. So
I will say that as a viewer, I watched a little bit of it, and I'm a lot less interested in it than I think when I first started watching Classic Tetris World Championship. I don't know how long you've been doing commentary for that. It's been several years at this point. It seems to me like the first 5 minutes of each match almost doesn't matter. I think it seems like there's probably some exceptions to that. You talked about like 80% Tetris rate, but like almost it doesn't matter until just the last like 20 to 30 seconds. So there's this like real big start where as the viewer, you're just there, just looking at it. It doesn't really matter. And then the crunch time is cool, but it happens so rarely as like a percentage of time. So it just is not, it doesn't interest me in the same way that it did before when it felt like the earlier parts of it were more consequential. And this is because the players are better. So, I mean, it's cool. Congrats to the players. It's probably super fun for them. But as a viewer, it's not as exciting for me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a change because of that now. And the level of talent is so much better because before, you know, when it was just gas play, it was super important because having that 60% Tetris rate was very hard. Nowadays, with the hyper tappers, players are consistently, like you just saw matches where they're both at 75%, like most of the time and such. So it is a little bit different now. Those first levels matter a lot, but as you mentioned, like functionally they matter a lot.
Well,
but
of course.
In actual,
but everybody's nailing it.
Right, but now everybody is so good, and once rolling comes in, it might get to the point where they have to start at level 19. Now, you know, just to start at the transition speed, right? Because that's the right way to go. But it's crazy because, like I said, it's fascinating to me as a fighting game player. Like, I'm coming at this from a very different. I compare the Tetris scene a lot to the Tekken scene, you know, because, you know, Tekken's like, oh, we don't want to use the cross up because it makes Korean backdashing easy, Electric Wing God Fist easy, and all the years of practice. What's the point? But, you know, like, there's a lot of legacy in Tekken. There's a lot of legacy in Tetris, in classic Tetris as well. You know, it's an interesting conversation, and I'm really curious to see where it's going to go in the future. But, you know, to sum it up, all up in a positive, it was an amazing event. The players were ridiculous.
Oh!
Okay.
I just wanted to end it because we let you keep going. We were never going to hear the end of Tetris. I appreciate your love of Tetris, but I know for a fact that whole thing was going to branch off into something else. So let's move on to the mailbag.
You can't quibble with that.
I call that an incorrect usage of the timer buster.
Legit.
I think that's an incorrect usage. You have to have a conversation you have to have a point to make.
All right. My point to make.
And that is a real point.
My point to make, my actual real point to make, is that James Chen did a great job on commentary this weekend.
I agree. Got him. Dude, I love it. I love the gamesmanship of it. Oh, man.
All right, I'm disabling the timer busters now.
Wow.
Timer busters are going away here.
Dude, that was
but like I said, honestly, it was really cool. The players played super well. And it was really exciting. I'm just really curious to see how the future of it goes. So
for sure. Cool, man. I'm glad you had fun. Let's talk about the next thing, the UCTV Mailbag.
That's
where
right.
you send in questions and we answer them much of the time anyway. We'll see if we do it this time. Are we going to do it? I don't know if we have enough time. We have 45 minutes left.
All right, let's get to the first question over here.
Dude, the phrasing of this question cracks me up. I love it. You guys will see shortly.
Oops. There we go. Oops. There. Okay. Zachary via Twitter asks, you are blessed/cursed by a limb wizard to gain some amount of extra arms. You can pick any number greater than 0, and they must be the size of human arms, but not necessarily human arms. How many do you pick, and where do you place them?
Dude, Limb Wizard, I'm going to be cracking up at for the next couple of days. I'm just going to be walking around thinking about Limb Wizard. I love that so much. All right. Well, what do you guys do here, huh? With your Limb Wizard, what do you do?
You know, I just go full Goro and I get 2 extra arms under there, right under the pit area.
You could pick 20.
I don't want 20. I just want the 2. I want to be symmetrical still.
Ah.
So yeah, I'll just go with the good old fashioned Goro. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would probably be the best way to go. Because the thing is, if you could add arms anywhere, like you could obviously add some arms hanging off your legs and all sorts of such, but nothing in the world is designed for that. There's no convenience to that, right? We're going to be sitting here typing and using the mouse. You need everything at that level, right? Everything is designed to be at human arm level. So I just feel like putting extra arms everywhere is kind of useless. Though I would probably maybe put a fifth arm, like maybe sticking out of the base of my back so I could scratch my back easily. You know, I think that would be kind of nice.
Imagine trying to lie down. That would be horrible. You wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to
that's
sit in any
actually
chairs.
true. That's actually true. So maybe
What if you put it at your tailbone and it hung down like a tail, and then you also would just always have a hand there if you fell down?
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, it
Yeah.
says they must be the size of human arms, but not necessarily human arms.
okay.
So we could be installing, I don't know, octopus tentacles. Why not octopus tentacles?
Limb wizard.
This limb wizard is, they're not limited to just human limbs.
This limb wizard is walking around.
They're not. You're not
would have said a
limited.
human.
You're not
It would have said
limited.
human.
You're not
Yeah, all
limited.
right. Nice. Yeah, all right. I get it. Yeah, nice word. Nice word. Anyway, I'm gonna pick also two, but I'm gonna have them be retractable tentacles, and they're the size of human arms when I tract a word, when I unretract them. I don't know. When they're rolled out, they're gonna be human arm
when they
size.
penetrate your skin.
No, I mean they're like little things hanging out there.
Outward penetration.
But I can retract them so that I can walk around like with a shirt on and nobody knows that I have 4 arms. But when I want to use my extra 2 unrolling tentacle limbs, I can stretch them out to another human arm length, and that way when I'm walking around, like, here's how I imagine the biggest use for it. I'm cooking food. I'm in the kitchen, I got a hold of all sorts of different implements going on. That's probably the most important usage of this.
Implements? You have a whole bunch of implements going on in your kitchen in particular.
Yes, of
David
course.
brings
That's
up
where
a
your
good point
sushi
here.
arms come into play.
That's where my implements are, in the kitchen, of course.
I actually am going to change my answer a little bit. I want those 2 arms, but I want them to be transformer arms. I want them to be robotic arms so they can transform into all sorts of other things, right? So literally I could basically do anything I want with them, right? And they're
but
going
they're only
to
human arm sized.
Right, but they're human arm size, but then they can transform into something flat so I can lie down, or, they can turn into claws or like a poke or something like that. And the most important part is they have to make the noise whenever they change modes. So
Hey man, he's the limb wizard. He's not Superman. He can't do everything.
look, we have an actual self-transforming
Superman
talking.
can give you robot limbs?
Ask Superman for robot limbs that make the noise. He can give you, the limb wizard can give you the limbs. He can't give you the sound effects. Come on. You'd have to walk around with a sound effect generator. Or maybe go see a sound effects wizard.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go see the sound effects wizard. But I mean, look, we have freaking walking, talking Optimus Primes that transform themselves already, and that you can talk
that
to.
Is a dope toy.
You can say transform and it transforms, and you say Megatron, and he goes Megatron, and it's like the most hilarious thing. So the thing is awesome. Anyways, next question here.
We move on.
Augusto Guhak via Twitter asks, besides English, what other languages are you proficient in or know at least a little? That's a very good question. There's a name that was one of the players in that was a Polish name. Is that something that you kind of know the pronunciation of, David, or is it different than like? Because you were studying you were studying like Czechoslovakian language.
Croatian.
Croatian. That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
only a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I guess I would say I'm only proficient in English, to be honest.
Same.
I used to speak Spanish pretty well. I used to speak French well. I lived there for a while. But at this point, it's really only English. I sometimes think about relearning stuff, but I haven't done it. As far as languages that I know at least a little bit of, or what's the phrasing of? I know at least a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Spanish, French, Hebrew, Hawaiian. I learned Hawaiian for a while.
Oh, whoa, that's cool.
Croatian. Yeah, I don't know. I learned a little bit of Russian as well. I was dating a girl who spoke Russian, and I thought that would be cool. And it was. And
Yeah,
I
David
guess
was definitely rushing that one down.
Oh,
That was one of those 17 hot cheerleaders that walked by you and said, "Oh, David, that guy looks hot."
actually, that was
I
one of the
remember that
models.
story. Yeah. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Yeah. If I want to mention every foreign language that I know a word for, like David just did,
Yeah, I mean, well,
then
no, I mean,
we could go on and on.
in each of those, I could
Taco!
briefly carry a conversation, but at this point, I don't, never proficiently, never. Well, Spanish and French, I feel like I was proficient in for a while, but I could carry a conversation in each of those at some point. Not anymore.
All right, moving on.
All right.
Well, I mean,
James
look,
knows one.
I'm a little bit in Spanish. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, but I don't remember much. Chinese, I can still speak pretty decently. Probably a little bit more than just regular conversations because my parents speak
Name one.
Chinese all the time. What?
Name one.
Name one what?
Name one Chinese word. Go.
That's
Wrong. Don't know
that's
any
a weird way
Chinese.
to say it. 我可以说国语，但是我说国语的时候，我的 see like I don't know how to say the word accent. 我的 accent 听得很像一个美国人说国语。但是我 有很多事情我跟中国人谈话的时候，他们一直说哇，你的国语
I should have saved my Buster.
你的国语不大不错，因为你是美国来的，对不对？你生的在美国。
Fun of you, Tupperware.
I hope so.
生的在美国 and you know
Tupperware guy
most of the
didn't think I
time
knew anything.
most of the people know that when you're born, a lot of the ABCs out there can't speak a lot of Chinese. So every time I do speak Chinese to them, they're always pretty surprised. So
No, it's cool, dude. I think it's so cool that when people know more languages than just one proficiently.
Yeah, it's super impressive.
Not there anymore, but yeah,
Because I'm
for sure.
way too lazy to do that.
Duolingo, man, Duolingo. This actually works pretty well. Next question is by Stephanie Brownback. As again, here we go. The three of you are new members of a rebooted Spice Girls. What are your spicy nicknames and aesthetics?
Well, let's see here. I will go by Stony, and I'll wear a lot of hoodies and basketball shorts and Air Force Ones and Chuck Taylors and hats.
You are really trying hard on this one.
Yeah, I'm trying super hard to be Stony Spice.
You just got your own.
Dubu Domo
clothes.
has the right answer for David, by the way, in the chat.
How did you know I was gonna say human spice? I can't believe no. I actually did briefly consider that. I'm gonna say manly spice. My outfit includes a beard. I have a large beard. To go with my short skirt. I mean, I'm a Spice Girl after all, but I'm manly spice. I got a beard. I got like short cut on the arms here, so you can see my huge rippling musculature.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't shave my legs and just let nature take its course.
Yeah, of course.
I like Tiny Texas comment. James would just be Old Spice.
Nice.
Listen, I've been using Old Spice deodorant since I was in 5th grade. All right, it's a good product.
I mean, I was just gonna say I'm Salty Spice, right? I mean, I think everybody knows that was probably coming at this point in time. But my aesthetic would definitely be
Ooh, look at the hair there.
fabulous hair, basically. So I
Nice.
have the fabulous hair. So people would love me for my beautiful, beautiful Shin Lim hair. I need to find out whoever does Shin Lim's hair and see if they can do my hair in the same way.
But we're all wearing short skirts because we're Spice Girls. I mean, that's like
Yep, for sure,
the
for
deal.
sure.
No, I guess Sporty Spice didn't always. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
I'm Stony Spice. I wear basketball shorts.
Yeah, but I mean, they still have to
the
be,
hardest
like,
part about us
form-fitting
being
in some
Spice
way.
Girls, though, is that means that, you know, if anyone wants to be my lover, they're gonna have to, you know, get with my friends here. They're gonna have to know my friends really well, and You know, it's just that now they have to, you know, become friends with David and Tubo. So that's just
If
a
you
lot
want
of
to
work.
be my lover, you have to get with my friends first. That's how I always understood that song.
I mean,
You're always picking up seconds.
yeah. Well,
All right, next question. Next question.
well.
Next question comes from Deadeye Day via Discord. If you were given a 4-hour segment at AGDQ to showcase / speedrun a game, so no 30-second long games, what game would you choose that you're good enough and knowledgeable about? 4 hours is a rough segment to try to fill in there.
That's a long GDQ, yeah.
Yeah, that's like I mean, there are only some RPGs where they take that long, to be honest. As far as I mean, other games can have categories that are long, but for GDQ runs, they really only do that for like specific, super popular RPGs.
Right. I think we can adjust this question down to like 30 minutes to an hour and just kind of make it a fair, you know, make it more, because that sounds more, you know, like obviously the question is designed in a way so that we can't just say, oh, I would speed run, you know, this 10-second game and then we'd be done. So it wants a substantial one.
I would speedrun the human game.
Oh, how did you know? Personally, that's going to take me a lot more than 4 hours. And I don't want to speedrun it at all. I'm hoping it takes about 80 years to be honest.
Adding tentacles to himself. He's obviously speedrunning the Squid Game. I mean, come on.
Oh. No, my real answer to this is that I briefly for a while looked into speedrunning Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And my fastest time on it was just a little bit lower than the then existing record for it. I didn't end up like taking it any further, but I did think about trying to get the record in that game and maybe applying to GDQ to do it. I briefly did think about doing that. And I never carried through, obviously, but yeah, I don't know.
I already told myself if I wanted to do a GDQ thing, I would speed run the expert training mode in Street Fighter EX1 on the PlayStation. That's what I've always wanted to do. And obviously there's definitely major ways to cheat it. If you've already cleared all of them, you can easily just like clear one, pause, and go to the next one. Like I would actually do it from full clear from beginning to end, every single one of them. That might take a good chunk of time, but there are ways to be able to do, like one would be Tatsu and the next one would be Super. So that you could do Tatsu, one hit, it says completed, and you Tatsu into Super Fireball, into Spin Kick Super, and then it immediately clears the next one because like you time it just right. So there's ways to like trick it like that. And so there are ways to trick the beginning parts and then just having the skill to do all the later ones, you know, on your first tries. I thought that would be really fun to do.
I don't have any game like that. Like I don't. The closest thing would be Mega Man X, and there's a bajillion different categories for that game. If you're talking about speedrunning,
that game is really hard to be good in because it is one of those popular games. I'm sure the records are like really well.
I would. That's the closest thing I've ever come to even trying to speedrun, and speedrun is take that very lightly. Would be Mega Man X, and that's because when I was a kid, I would beat it repeatedly over, like 100% it over and over and over and over, just because I liked getting the Hadouken.
Yeah,
I wanted to get the Hadouken and then one-shot bosses with it. Like that was fun to me.
Hadouken,
so
and then the next
I would
game
just do that over and over.
Mega Man X2, they gave you the Shoryuken.
Yeah, you get Shoryu. That would be the closest thing I would have, but I've never like attempted to get like super quick at it. Like when I play single-player games, I'm playing them because I want to relax. And I want to go through something at my own pace. If I want to be competitive, I play a game that's inherently competitive.
Yeah.
So
I tend to do the same thing.
Yeah, Olaf sped run Bloodstained, and he was like in the top 5 or something like that in the world at one point in time. But I'm just watching him speed run it, and I just like I can't do this. Like I
it's a lot of memorization.
The amount of hours that I spent used to playing Mario Kart DS and trying to get the best time trial and failing and pausing and restarting and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I could speedrun. I would basically kill myself trying to do that. So,
well, let's not kill ourselves.
Let's please not do that. Yeah, I do get the interest. I get why people like it, and I really like watching it. But I'm not going to put in the time to do it myself.
Next question from Tavi Turnip. Referencing Stephanie's questions here, 16-Bit has cast a spell on all of you, forcing you to use Twitter with a quirk for the rest of time, such as spelling words with a K. What is your Twitter quirk?
James's Twitter quirk is pretending that it's a like English class, and he has to have all the grammar proper, and he has to have the spelling proper,
and punctuation and capitalization
needs to be there. Yeah.
I can't even get on James because I usually do that too.
Do you?
And also, every time I tweet, I have a really hard time of choosing will I use periods or will I not use periods, and I switch back and forth very often.
Like at the end of the tweet, will you put a period? Is that the?
Yeah. Like,
Dude.
What time I'll never do it is if it's like a 2-paragraph or more tweet. Then I never end sentences with periods. But if it's a 1-sentence tweet, I might put a period on it. It's like that's a quirk I already have. Actually, that's
I think
my
that
quirk.
might be backwards.
I know, it's weird. It's a weird thing I do.
If I have a tweet that's 241 characters long and I can't fit that period at the end, I will find a way to get that period in there. Like, I will actually...
You gotta reword the tweet, yeah.
Yeah, I have to find something to be able to delete to get that period
I
in
understand
there.
your pain.
Even with commas, like, that are really unnecessary. Like, I have to put that camera in there, dude. It's I mean, not
That
the
camera. You
it's
gotta fit that camera right in there.
I don't even know why I said camera. I need to fit that comma in there. I think it's because I saw the word grammar on the chat, and so a comma grammar got mixed up.
Sure.
Camera, so...
Sure. Have I spent 15 minutes crafting a single tweet? Absolutely. But never because I wanted to put in a period or punctuation. That stuff can honk off. I just want to have the right words. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, we all have like our styles. I like to have tweets. I do tweets that have 0 punctuation at all, and that's when I'm like being glib. You know, this is like my check out this jerk face or whatever I'm quote tweeting. You know, it's just some whatever stupid stuff I'm doing on Twitter. And if it's something where I want to have a little bit more reputability, then I want to have capitalizations. Probably not the full on constant punctuation.
I want to look like I'm smart, but not that smart.
Correct.
Look,
It's
when David's being glib, he's just trying his best to channel Endril, right? Well, isn't that his name?
Yes.
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Drill, you got it. David.
Drill?
Just...
Oh, okay.
Drill. Yeah.
Okay.
David's
Sure.
just processing.
Yeah.
Well, the end before it just threw me off.
Yeah,
Drill.
sorry.
No, it's all good. Yes. Do I have a crush on Drill's tweet writing ability? Absolutely. Yes. Do I think that his tweets are the canon texts of internet culture? Yes, absolutely.
I just don't understand how his tweets are so like profoundly accurate, and then
they're
they
so
become
great.
and then
What
they
a
become
genius.
relevant like 2 years later, like in the most accurate way possible.
Do you
even though 2 years
support
ago.
What a
The
genius.
Patreon? Do you support the Patreon, David? Joel has a Patreon.
I didn't know that.
That's like how he survives, actually.
That's awesome. Wow. He
Yeah,
tweets
so-
professionally. What a genius.
Yeah. So you should support the Patreon because you are the
That's
biggest fanboy.
amazing.
I did watch. There was some video that he was writing for, or some show that he was writing for that I briefly watched, and I thought that it was like super funny as well. So,
Thanks.
All right.
what a genius!
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's like he's using a different, better language than English somehow.
Dude, it's language is so cool. You get to play around with it and make all these like funky decisions with it, and people know what you're saying anyway. I just really like playing around with language. It's like Play-Doh. Like you get to shape it into whatever you want.
I think
love
that's
it.
kind of one of the reasons why I go crazy on puns, just because it's the way that you can tweak words is just absolutely fascinating, you know?
Yeah, especially in Hawaiian, the language that I knew so well, as I said earlier. Lots of puns available.
All right, there you go. Subatar via Discord asks, you have in your hands a time baseball. You can throw the time baseball to any place and time in history, and it will emerge at the speed of your fastest pitch. Where and when do you throw the time baseball. So we've had a limb wizard and a time baseball now.
Do you use your time baseball for sports purposes? Do you use your time baseball for beneficial purposes? Do you use your time baseball to bean somebody in the dome? Many different uses potentially for a time baseball. And if to bean somebody in the dome, is it just you just knock them in the head and then that's it? Or maybe you knock them in the head at like a specific spot. Maybe they're like driving down a very windy road and you knock them in the dome right when they're supposed to make a turn. But no, oh my God, and their car drives off the edge. You kill them. You murder somebody with your time baseball. There's many different uses for the time baseball.
My time baseball is thrown at the exact point in the exact space in the exact time to where Capcom would push through the patch for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 that never actually got to come out. It would hit the button, bam! It's off in the interwebs. Everybody gets the UMVC 3 update that we never got to have and see it. It's too late. Capcom can't stop it. It gets downloaded to some consoles, and who knows what happens in the future of Marvel from there.
Do you think that the baseball would cause a patch to happen, or in your mind, like
Yeah. Like somebody has the screen up that is like, if we hit this button, the patch goes through to the internet.
But like
and
they
the
already
baseball
have
goes
a patch.
bam.
There's a patch that
The
exists.
patch is done. There is a patch that did exist.
Is that true?
According to people that I'm not going to name that are very credible, yeah. They worked on a patch that never got a chance to get released.
Wow.
So that patch is loaded up, and Yoshinori Ono's like, oh, if we hit this button, it goes out to the world, and his hand is like there, and the baseball smacks his hand, and boom, the patch goes.
There's like a cover over the button. First of all, it's a large button labeled
Yes, exactly, yes.
And there's a cover over it that says break only in case of emergency, and your baseball smashes through that box and sends patch. Interesting.
Exactly, yeah. That's what my time baseball does. And that's how we got Marvel 3 with rollback.
My time baseball would teleport to the driver of the gas car in the gas car electric race.
Okay.
So that it would smack him in the face in the middle of that race so that the electric car would win. That is 100%. Because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of bad people in the world. You're not going to prevent that. But if we could actually have started with the electric car since the beginning, the world would be very, very different.
That's a fantastic answer.
Very, very different. I've always told myself if I could go back in time and change like one thing, that was one of my number one things that I would change, is making the electric car win that race.
I feel like the most obvious answer is just like whenever Hitler was like in a plane, I bean the pilot of the plane and it crashes. But that, which I guess is probably what I would do. Yeah. It's just, that's like too obvious of an answer. I want something more interesting, but I think what I would really do with it is use it in some way to murder Hitler.
Yeah.
But what if Hitler dying too early sets off a chain of events that leads to the Axis winning?
I mean, you never know. You absolutely never know.
Right.
We probably know that wouldn't happen, but many other things. I mean, who knows? Like, he was making all sorts of bonehead military decisions, so maybe
that's what I'm saying. Maybe, he's the idiot here. And his boys, they pulled through.
But you have to figure out what period of time to take him out, like maybe even as a baby or something like that, you know.
Baby Hitler.
You kill baby Hitler. There's just going to be a different Hitler in his place.
Right.
Maybe I bean Hitler's the professor who reviewed his art when he was applying to art college. Maybe I bean him in the head so that he's just kind of dizzy. He's not like gonna die, but he's a little dizzy, a little woo, and he looks at Hitler's paintings and he's like, oh dude, these are the best paintings that I've ever seen. Of course you're accepted to art school. And he just continues to be an artist for the rest of his life and doesn't bother anybody at all. Maybe that's what the solution is.
No, actually all you have to do is throw the baseball that hits the accepted to the art school button.
I have to break
Yes.
the break only in case of emergency.
Yeah, exactly.
Accept to art school button that exists
Exactly.
back in the old 1910s.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll
That's
hit
how
the
that
button. It'll hit the button. It'll hit Yoshinoro Ono's hand, and he hits that
Get
accept
out of here,
button.
for some
Yoshi Ono.
reason.
What are you doing here?
He's there for some reason.
Blanco. A Blanco
He's
character
taking
flies
credit for the
away.
creation of the school.
Uh,
I built this.
Yeah. All this art that I had. Yeah, no,
I painted
there you
this.
that was the last question.
go. There we go.
It's a
That
great
was it.
question, though. That was a good question.
Nice work.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about this. Like, just for the viewers at home, obviously a mailbag is a good time and everything like that. But, you guys can let us know in the chat. Also, let us know in the YouTube comments, like, what are your favorite parts of the Tuesday show? Like, do you like the interviews? Do you like the 5-5? Do you like the mailbag? Just let us know what your favorite parts are. So
It's all on the chopping block, baby. We can get rid of anything. Maybe we keep everything. Who knows? It's all we're all gonna cut it. I don't know.
Well, I had a good time on the Ultra Chen TV show.
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks for watching while I was here, guys.
I'll see you all in the metaverse.
I just have to do that because David never used it, and I just wanted to see it again because it's hilarious. I love it.
Objection. Hey, only I can talk after that happens.
Oh.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us for the Ultra Chen Tuesday show. Spider-Man looks like it's interesting, but also, I don't know. I'm probably not going to think about it again until the actual movie comes out.
I've been thinking about
You
it.
can't say anything at all, bucko. Have a good night, everybody. Woo!
There it is.
I got
okay.
2 minutes to blather on, and nobody can stop me. Here I go. Talking. I was eating lettuce straight from the bag earlier today. I ate some arugula just straight from the bag. I like it a lot. Sometimes I eat kale straight from the bag. It's a nice snack in my opinion. I like spinach sometimes that way. I think that's kind of tasty. I don't really like doing that with chips. I would rather eat arugula straight from the bag than potato chips.